Hey, how's it going, brother? Sean?
Yeah, is this Omar?
Yeah, what is up, brother? Welcome to the Metal Mixtape in Ashland, Oregon, in front of the millions and millions of people around the world. How's it going, man?
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Omar, it's great to talk to you.
Hey, you know what? I think this is the first time I ever heard your voice, bro.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's kind of soothing. Can we just just relax in the moment for a second and just take in what just happened?
Seriously.
Oh, man. Well, stoked to have you on, man. I know we were supposed to have you on a couple weeks ago, but the forces have worked together, and now here we are, man. So, first of all, your band, Drawn My Knives, you guys are awesome. I want to thank you personally for the awesome shirt you guys sent me. Always down to support. But one thing I don't know, Sean, is I don't know much about the band in general, about how it started, how you guys all got together, and why name it Drawn by Knives. Tell me a little bit about how this project started and how you guys originated.
Yeah, man, we're cloaked in mystery, right? I think like most bands, we went through probably a handful of different names trying to come up with something that was fitting, and Drawn by Knives is kind of like you're made up of the scars and the things that have affected you through your life, right? And that's kind of what with rock and metal bands, you're not singing your happy times, right? You're singing about some of the stuff that kind of formed you into what you were. So that's kind of where the name came from. As far as the band goes, myself and a buddy of mine, Jeremiah, started the band maybe 4 or 5 years back, and it was just kind of a studio project to begin with. And we just happened to find a couple of other people that were like-minded, and we got along really, really well. Started making a racket, and we decided to take it and be more of a band and get out and play live and do all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty much where we're at right now.
Dude, I like it, dude. You know what? I think we should dig a little deeper. Should we dig a little deeper there, Josh?
Let's dig. I got my shovel.
Let's dig a little bit deeper, man. Tell me about where you got love for music, man, when you were young. Were you inspired by family? Did you get into music or heavy music while you were in school? Like, where did you get your spark in your heart, man, to play this music?
Growing up, I went through a bunch of different phases. That whole new wave thing. I'm almost 50, so kind of latched on to punk there for a little bit. 7 Seconds. And I had some friends growing up that were really into guitar. One of my best friends, his name's Kless. He's in a band called Unprovoked. Yep. They're still today. They play in the Sacramento Bay Area thrash scene, and yeah, man, just listening to all the Bay Area thrash bands is pretty much where my love came from. Metallica, Nintenjoel, and then even Anthrax. The other guy in the band, a huge Anthrax fan as well. So we're rooted in the old '80s. Bay Area thrash, East Coast thrash. That's pretty much what we grew up listening to.
Dude, that's badass, dude. And I totally dig the whole Drawn by Knives. Sometimes you always need, I'm one of those people that need somebody to explain it to them the second time, and they get it. And what you told me is how we're drawn up by our scars and stuff. That hit deep, bro. See, this is why. Yeah, this is why we have these interviews, because would have never hit that deep.
I don't feel like people don't get into metal necessarily because they have happy childhoods. You know what I mean? Or it's usually you latch onto something and it hits, and I mean more often than not. I always say, the thing with Metallica kind of changing is when they started getting catered food they didn't have anything to be angry about. And you can kind of hear that in the music, So there's something about growing up a little bit rough, I guess, that just metal sort of finds you or you find it. I don't know how to describe it, I guess. You know what I'm talking about.
That makes 100% sense, dude, honestly, because it's funny you said something like this, because I literally bring up this topic constantly on my show. On our show is bands, they grow up and they get older. You know what I mean? So a lot of times when in a lot of fan bases they get mad at their bands for changing, it's dude, life doesn't always have to suck. There could be a light at the end of the tunnel. And a lot of these bands do grow out of their addictions, grow out of whatever they went through in their lives. They have families, and I don't think it's necessarily like a band just wants to change or settles out. Is that the band grows up and they work hard. It's almost like it's like when a band gets their first opportunity to record in $1 million studio compared to recording at home. The mindset changes. Like I always like to use like Avenged Sevenfold. They were on Fearless Records, I believe that was called. That might not be it. But then they got to Warner Brothers. I can only imagine the production that was available to them as soon as they got signed. So I always say, like, I don't know, dude, to each their own, but, like, for me, I always feel like, bands grow up, even me, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I just, I have my kid and my family and all that, and, like, when I try to write stuff down on the pen that I don't really feel, I'm just like, oh, I used to feel that.
Priorities change.
Yeah, it's when you revisit lyrics from, like, 4 or 5 years back, sometimes it's cringe-inducing, right?
Yeah, a little bit. But
yeah, I'm the same, always evolving, and always, I still appreciate music. I still get inspired by stuff too, like, just like even, I mean, the local scene especially, just seeing just all the stuff coming out now and the people's passion for things. I mean, it is inspiring. So it's not all. I guess I shouldn't put the negative context on all of it because it's not all obviously a negative. Drive that brings it. There's a lot of positive stuff too. I guess it's just how you go about combating some of the things that you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, right?
Yep. Yeah, dude. No, I completely agree with you, dude. And yeah, dude, I agree, dude. I was just talking to Josh about how, like, everything's opening up and it's like straight up the Wild West. Like, there's so many bands right now just releasing, working on merch, booking shows, booking tours. Like, I don't even have enough money to go to all these shows I want to go to. It's insane.
Oh, I know. It's so great, right? I keep waiting. Like, my buddy and I are waiting for the new Anthrax record. We know it's done. We're like, just put it out, I'm waiting for the 12-Foot Ninja stuff. It's going to be exciting. This whole next year, couple of years, I think there's going to be so much good stuff coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Plus with everybody being, on lockdown and everything being closed and all that, I think everybody's just so hungry to go to shows and have shows that it's almost like we don't care. Let's just go do this. It's a show. It's live music. I want, I know that's how I was for a while.
You can put me in that category. I'm chomping at the bit. I had a really cool number of shows planned and I didn't get to see any of them. So I can't wait.
Now that they're back, I feel like it's something that a lot of people won't be taking for granted anymore. Maybe they did in the past or whatnot. I think it's just going to be the passion's there. It'll be there even more.
I hope so. I really do. I hope that I hope people realize, having not had it for a year and a half, that it is an important part of stuff. Because nothing would put a bigger smile on my face than to see places packed and people really enjoying live original music again.
It's a feeling unlike anything else. We had a good local show here recently, and it was the first one we had where people were starting to unmask and all that, and it was just seeing all the smiling faces, seeing all my friends just walking in there. It was great. It's been over a year at least since I've had something like that, and it was the greatest feeling ever. That's all I can say.
So I think totally. Everybody. I mean, we need it, right? I mean, everybody needs that. Whatever it is that does it for them, we just need to I feel like we need to get back to that.
You know what it is?
Right?
It's human connection, man. Yeah. You know what? Everybody needs a hug, bro.
Yeah, it's hard to hug through Facebook, right?
For sure, dude, for sure. And you know what? I'm just stoked also that a lot of the venues got to stay open, Like, for me, like, before, when this whole COVID thing down, I didn't even think about, like, the shows I had planned out. I was just like, oh, no, like, I know of, like, a couple venues that just opened, like, a month ago that are not going to get hit with this. I'm just like, oh, no, here goes, like, the venues. So I'm a huge shout-out. If any venue owners listening or supporter, thank you for staying open and making it. We appreciate you.
Absolutely, yeah. I second that big time.
So Sean, getting back to Drawn by Knives, for the listeners out there in Ashland that maybe have not heard your band or are just tuning in, we're talking to Sean by Drawn by Knives. Tell us a little bit about what the fans could expect when they listen to your music, and also what type of lyrics do you guys write for it?
Yeah, as far as expectations, we don't really do a whole lot of the, we don't do the MIDI, the sequencing, any of that stuff. We're pretty much chord to amp, just playing, hard rock. Fringes, it goes in and out. It's kind of hard to categorize. People tell me what it sounds like, and I never understand what they're saying because I don't tend to listen to the bands that they mention. But it's just hard rock. Lyrically, I try to write broad enough that everybody can relate, but obviously there's some inside stuff there. It's cathartic, be able to deal with some things, and I don't tend to write politically. I try to steer away from those kind of things, and just broad strokes that everybody can relate to in their own way. But there's definitely some themes behind some of the stuff.
I dig it, dude. I dig it. Well, I'm excited to play a little bit of your music a little bit on the show.
Yeah, you've been supportive, man. I can't say enough about you, Omar. You're super supportive, man. And your show.
Hey, man. Anytime, dude. Like I said, sorry for getting quiet there for a second. We're gonna play a song by you guys here a little bit later in the show. But before I let you go, Sean, I'm going to ask you a couple fun questions. You ready to go?
Sure. Throw them at me.
All right, Sean, if you had to choose your death, but it had to be by a villain in a horror movie, who would you have kill you?
Oh, that's a good one. Jason from the Friday the 13th, because he's done it so many different ways, it would have to be super, super cool.
How would you have him do it?
By hang glider.
By hang glider?
Hang glider. I love it.
Dude, I'm more impressed that Jason could ride a hang glider.
Right? Jason just uses the hang glider and kills him with it.
He
sticks the whole hang glider. Jason, that's what he does.
To my knowledge, I don't think that's been done in any of the movies, so I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I don't think it has either. I'm a pretty big fan of the series, and I don't think I've seen a hang glider used. On that note, real quick, I need to ask, just because you brought it up, why hasn't he not used a pizza cutter before?
I'm sorry, what was...
Why hasn't Jason used a pizza cutter? That's what's always bugged me. It seems like it would be the perfect opportunity,
No, that is a really good question. I don't have a good answer for that, honestly. You think that would have been done?
I know, it's always been something I've wondered. But anyway, on to the next question.
I like it.
I should change my answer now to pizza cutter.
Pizza cutter? I like it. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. All right. If you could play in any band in any era for one set, dead or alive, who is that one band?
The Beatles.
Beatles? Oh, yeah? He's a Beatles fan?
I like the Beatles, absolutely, yeah.
Hey, Sean, were you ever into the Ramones, man?
What's that?
Were you ever into the Ramones?
Yeah, I like the Ramones. They're not a favorite, but I mean, I definitely appreciate them, and yeah.
You ever watch those arguments between all the punk leaders in the genres? Was it Johnny Rotten and one of the Ramone guys were arguing back and forth? It's good stuff.
Oh yeah, there was something on YouTube not too long ago that popped up, and I watched that. And it was pretty. Yeah, I think it was Johnny Rotten and somebody else going off on each other.
Yeah, I love watching all of it, dude. But personally, I love listening to anybody argue in a British accent.
Oh, that's awesome. Funny. Like Ozzy with his remote.
Yeah, dude, I think it's gold, dude. Honestly.
Right.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. All right, dude. For all the listeners out there, Sean, tell us something you're good at that nobody would expect that you're good at.
And I'm a pretty good cook.
Yeah, what can you cook, bro?
Bacon wrapped, crab stuffed prawns. Just various different spicy shrimp.
You're making me hungry now.
I know. I'm kind of good too.
All right, Sean. What is one band that you like that gets a lot of crap and that a lot of people don't like?
Oh, you know what? I'm a child of the '80s, so I feel like all these bands get lumped into the hair metal scene. But man, I love me some Rat.
Yes.
You know, well, I think Warren DeMartini's a badass. I'm not gonna lie.
I can agree. I love me some Rat as well.
Yeah, the Jake Lee Ozzy years, I guess that's probably like the sacrilege, right? Because everybody loves Randy so much. I like Jake too. I'm not too picky with that kind of stuff. So
I was watching the Us Festival video the other day where Ozzy plays, and I think he's got Jake Lee in the lineup that time. And yeah, Jake definitely brought something to the table. I mean, obviously it was different than Randy, but I mean, I'm sure that's what Ozzy was doing.
According to George Lynch. According to George Lynch, Jake Lee only got in because he had the hair and he had the look, but apparently George Lynch could smoke him under the water.
And I like George Lynch too, but I mean, if you go back and look at their hairstyles at that time, there's probably some legitimacy to that, right?
Oh, no, there is. George kind of had the awkward mullet halfway.
Well, also, remember what George told us is that he had to get a normal job.
Yeah.
And they made him cut his hair.
That's right, yeah.
So when he went into the audition, they picked Jake Lee because of the hair.
Yeah.
Because of the little off the look.
I can see that. Jake looks pretty rock and roll, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, dude. Tell us something you suck at.
Something I suck at. Coming up with shit I suck at. No, I don't know. I'm not good at anything involving heights. So if you put me up on a ladder and ask me to do anything, I'm probably not going to do it very, very good.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. My handwriting hasn't changed since the 4th grade, so I would say that's something I suck at.
And everybody types now, so you're probably okay, right?
Yeah, now I just type on a 4th grade level. Well, Sean, for our last question, tell us your biggest fail you've ever had on stage. Whether an amp getting blown, a band member getting too drunk, someone getting in a fight. What's the biggest, oh, hell no moment on stage that you've had?
I'm not going to name names because they might be listening right now, but one of the very first bands I was in, we had a pretty decent gig, and we had a little bit of momentum going. Seemed like people were into it, and we sort of messed up during our second song, and our drummer stopped and basically went to start it all over, and from there on out, it just looked like amateur hour.
Oh man.
No.
Hey, you know what? I'm
talking like like a minute and a half in too, not like a false start kind of thing, but like well into it, you know.
Damn, and to restart it, yeah, I'd be like, oh, hey, did you at least destroy the rest of the songs though? Did you do good?
You know, we were so green. I think we were 19, 20 at the time. I think we were all just like deer in the headlights at that point. You know, I couldn't tell you if it was good or bad. I think my memory just phased everything out after that, to be honest with you.
Well, hey, Sean, I want to thank you so much for being on the Metal Mixtape. If you're just tuning in, we're talking to Sean from John by Night. We'll be playing some of the music a little bit later in the show. Is there any final shout-outs you want to give, Sean, while we have a little bit more time?
I just want to say thanks for having me, Omar. I appreciate you making the time. And I know everybody's going to be out at that Riverfest the 17th or whatever, but if you happen to be in Portland on the 17th, we'll be playing Dante's. You should come check us out.
Sounds good, brother. Sean, thank you so much for being on the Metal Mixtape.
Yeah, thank you, man. Good talking to you.
Oh, thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Peace out, brother.
Thanks, Omar.
Thank you, bro. Peace.